Today we are going to be talking about this expedition vehicle. It's an Iveco daily 4x4 expedition vehicle, and I'm going to talk to you about everything. So today we're going to talk about an expedition vehicle, its build process, its technical specifications, the pains I went through to get it built and how long it took. I'm going to cover every little bit about this truck in detail, so the technical guys can be interested in the technical stuff, the non-so-technical guys can be interested in the pretty stuff, yeah, and big tires, big suspension. Is it really worth the upgrades? I've done a lot to this truck, so let's crack on with it. So let's talk about what type of vehicle it was originally. It was a pickup truck. It had a hydraulic ram on the back and it was a tipper. It was originally, I think, a forestry commission vehicle. It had relatively light use. I didn't want to go with anything with a high ab on it because they do have a tendency when you use high abs to twist chassis, and I didn't want to do that. So I went for something that had relatively light use. So we did a lot of upgrades to this. So the vehicle was built, which took a number of years. It's not a quick process. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to start showing you some of the updates I've actually done. So what we've got here, we upgraded the wheels. So they are now steel wheels on a 17-inch rim. These are Explorer RT 37 12.5 17 LT tyres. These are the 137Q. So they have a very high load rating. I can't remember the exact, I'll put it on the screen. So we did that. That made a massive difference to the vehicle. Then inside here, you'll see there's leaf springs. Now the leaf spring originally was for a 5.5 ton vehicle. This vehicle was upgraded on the plate. So now it's a 6-tonner. And the leaf spring, we added one extra leaf spring which took the front load up to 7 ton. You didn't have to do this, by the way. I did this to make the vehicle just better, more robust, stronger, better, faster. Right? We also did the same to the rear. On the rear though, I actually put 2 extra parabolic leaf springs, and if you look just there to the right, you will see there's an airbag. Just me focusing on that. So we put airbags on it as well. Yeah. So the airbags are a game changer. They are, I'm going to open up. These airbags are then governed by this module here, right? It's inside the back of the truck. I'll put that light back on. So I can set the pressures to whatever I want. I've got the knack now. I keep everything within a certain area. And I do find it works really well, especially when you're off-road.
So a brake upgrade was performed. We put better rotors on the front which were vented, upgraded the rear drum pistons, so the braking was significantly increased. And also while we were doing it, we replaced the brake hoses. We put braided brake hoses rather than use the standard ones from Iveco.
We extended the chassis by about 1/2 meter to accommodate a larger box, so we got a bigger area. It's a twin cab, so this is the area I'm sitting in now. We have a door right, left. This is a walk-through. It's a pass-through or walk-through, but it's not a crawl-through. I actually am quite a tall guy and I can get through it. It's nice. It's very convenient. So if you're parked up overnight in an area and you want to leave quickly, or you've got boggy, it's muddy, it's gooey outside, gooey, you can actually not have to put the side steps out. Now, the vehicle then was converted over a period of 2 years. It was a long old wait. There was a lot of pains waiting for the vehicle, but eventually we did get it. The vehicle wasn't perfect. It did have a number of problems, but these problems were resolved in the end. But what I'm going to cover here is the air compressor. So the air compressor is Stanley. It's a Fat Max. It's a 240 volt system. It's 1 horsepower, 6 litre. It goes up to 8 bar, which is more than enough for what I need for inflating the tyres in the truck. It's far more capable than any 12 volt I've had, and I've had many. And mechanically, it's very robust. I've had it in the truck for 2 years, and I've had nothing, not a thing go wrong with it whatsoever. It keeps cool and it gets up to temperature really quick. and not temperature, up to pressure. So I'll run that's how quiet it is. It's 59 decibels and it builds up relatively quick. So we'll just watch it now, and it's just to see how quiet or how loud it seems to you. I'm still talking, and there we are. And that's that. And then this is where you would put your airline, and let's show you. So pop the airline in there, and this is actually long enough to get around all the wheels. And then I use this particular brand. It's a Sealy make, it's digital, it's quite accurate. Pop that in, and I got a nice long, I got the extended cable on it because I don't want no tyres exploding and me having to be in front of them if one does fail. So I got a nice tool chest in here. It's a Makita tool chest. It's actually plastic. It's proven to be very reliable, and just on the back then you'll see that I've got a selection of other boxes. They're stackable, they're lockable, lightweight, which is perfect, and super robust. Not had one of them break in over 2 years of traveling. Let me show you how the steps work. They're quite a simple thing. You've got a little lock on the side which you pop out. You've got to lift a latch, put your leg under. They're lightweight, they're aluminium, and they fully extend to whatever terrain I'm on. That's what they look like down. So they are extremely robust. They will need oiling from time to time because they do get, they got nylon joints here which do get full of sand and whatnot, but it's quite easy, a bit of brake cleaner and that's job done. So looking at the rear of the vehicle, it has a lift, and this is used predominantly for extra storage, which is in that box there. I can put various things in there, and also it can take 2 push bikes, electric, big ones, or a single motorbike if you so choose, but generally a lighter weight one, not some GS 1250. It won't take that because that's a big payload. It's 400 kilos. This has a payload, I'd say, around about 250 kilos. Which is more than adequate because simply it's a 6-ton vehicle. You don't want to be loading up the rear axles too much. It's lightweight. It's made of aluminium, where most of the weight is gone. So, you know, aluminium is what, 2/3 lighter than steel. There's a little bit of heavy duty bracing, which is all being CNC cut to make it nice and light. Lockers to lock it in place. I also put a few extra straps on as well. Belt and braces really for me. And underneath you'll notice I've got sand ladders. Never used them, but they're there just in case. And on the side then I put a shovel. I picked this up at the Aventure All Rad show some time back. Very good quality. Used it quite a few times, and it locks in so nobody can actually take it off. There's a special key to go in the hole. And this will drop down to about 250 mil, be off the floor, so I can easily get a bike on or a motorbike or whatever I'm taking with me. If I'm taking my inflatable canoe, it all fit on the back. So let's talk about electricity. We have a Multi-Plus Victron 2. It's a 24 volt system. This is a 5,000 watt, 120 amp system. Have 400 amp hours of lithium and about 750 watts of solar. There's your MPPT charger on a separate isolator, all nice and neat. 240 volts, all your trips, everything labeled up nicely. I got air conditioning as well, which is a nice treat. That runs off the 240, separate isolators, again, all nice and neatly done. And just in there, which I've got another video I'll show you now, that's all the boiler room just in there. What we've got here, I've configured this to look after the starter battery. Although I have a split charging system, the Victron system isn't very good for charging up the starter battery. So now I'm able to isolate the battery, and I can use this system here to supply 12 volt in the cab. So I've got USBs, I've got extra auxiliary powers if I need them. I can put in my fridge, connect my fridge. I have an ARB fridge that I can put in, and it works well. So this is, what's that? This is going from 24 volt to 12 volt because the system in the back of the van or the back of the truck in the habitation box is 24 volt. This then is a battery charger. It's a 12 volt to 12 volt battery charger. Optimax, works a treat. And when the vehicle's parked up for any length of time, just anything from a week onwards, I just leave that connected, and the batteries from the back, leisure batteries, will keep my starter battery optimized, because I have had a few fail. I've been through 3 starter batteries until I actually worked out what was going on, and I thought the Victron system was up to, yes, it is a very advanced system, but it doesn't really look after the starter battery very well over a long period. So here we have a 240 volt connector. That's your shore power hookup, which it does get used to balance the batteries and bring the power up if I'm having a low solar day. LPG, the LPG is in this cupboard here. Which we can regas, and then you'll see a shower connector here, which fits on to there, which is a nice little luxury, that I will say. This is another locker, which I use to store my jack and my emergency equipment, easy to get to. So that is a holding tank just there, and that's your wastewater tap to drop everything out. Spare wheel on the back. Now I will say that if I'm traveling far afield, I will take an extra wheel with me, and I put it on the back of the lift. As you see in this particular instance, I've removed the seats. I don't always need the seats in the truck. These are the spots that it goes, where the mats are, they bolt to the floor. I carry a couple of fire extinguishers, always good to have, just in case one fails, and they're 2 big ones as well. I think these are 2 kilos, so I have 2 of them. So let's talk about the controversial subject of windows. This one is fitted with glass windows. These were supplied by the manufacturer who built the box. They've proven to be a robust window, not without their problems. They have leaked. We replaced the seals, that seems to have stopped that. They didn't fit particularly well in the beginning, but I've learned to manage them. They have a runner system rather than a little piston that holds them open, so you've got to keep them clean, and I found brake cleaner's the best thing, and a little bit of silicone spray, and they work a treat. You've got to keep on top of them as you do anything else. They don't scratch. They are quite strong. They've been in there now for 2.5 years, and they've been to deserts, they've been to cold climates, and they've been proven to be pretty good. The only thing I would say is these are the storm windows. You can see a ledge on top of them, just there, you'll see the ledge. Now that ledge does let water back in. They don't really work that well. The water actually will trail underneath and drip back inside if you've got your windows a long way open. So what I've learnt is don't leave the windows too far open, and everything's good, you know. It all seems to work well. So let's talk about the transfer box. This is the cooling system. It's a brand new transfer box. I've even stripped the transfer box down to do a modification, and I'll drop some photographs in to, it's a circlip issue that Iveco know about, but you have to do the modification yourself, and I did that. And also I've beefed it up quite a lot, the actual brackets that hold it in place. Change the bushes and put an oil cooler on it. The oil cooler comes out at the very bottom. You can see there is a banjo up through the pipes, and in the top right hand corner of the screen you can see a pump. It goes through the pump, through the oil cooler, and feeds back into the transfer box. And I only ever use this when I'm on a motorway for prolonged periods, because it can get quite hot. I've even chopped the secondary exhaust box, the muffler, the silencer, whatever you want to call it, off, because it's too close to the transfer box, puts too much heat into it. It has multiple gear arrangements where you have a very low first gear, and then it's 24 gears in total. So you can actually configure your gears as you want. It has a center diff lock and a rear diff lock. I know some of these vehicles have a front diff lock. This one doesn't particularly have it. Well, it doesn't have that. Let's talk about snorkels. This has a Ridgeline snorkel. There's really only one manufacturer that I know of anyway, it's them, and it comes from Australia. Get in touch with them Australian guys. Travel Trucks, I think, supplied this one originally, and every man loves a good snorkel. Yeah, makes a vehicle look awesome. I think I can actually drive up to about this depth anyway in water. You know, she's good for way over a meter, because what you've got to remember with a truck like this, right, she's not particularly long. She's only around 6.5 meters, depending on what the extension, so from there to there is about 6.3 meters. Then I got the tail lift, which adds half a meter if I decide to put the extension on it. But she's 3.7 meters tall. And why is it 3.7 meters tall? Well, the box is no different to any camper van. It's just that the vehicle itself is about 1.2 meters off the floor. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you. So, it's about 1.3 meters off the floor. I'm not a short fella, you know. I'm going to work in meters now and feet. 6'1". But we're British, this is how we do it. And it's about 1.2 meters off the floor. At the time you put your box on, we're instantly up to 3.75 meters off the floor. Then you've got a 2 meter width, and it's about 6.2, 6.3 meters long. But with my lift, it can be a little bit longer, 6.5, 6.8 meters, depending on the extension that I actually put on it. I had it specifically built for me. And I had it narrow because I wanted the vehicle to be able to go down tracks that Land Rovers could go down, a normal panel van could go down, for instance, narrow streets. I can use this like a normal camper or an expedition vehicle. If I was suddenly at 12 and 15 and 18 ton, you can't do the things I do in this. It's impossible. You just simply can't get down the tracks. And I've been in a few instances where I've got bigger vehicles with me and they're stopped. I keep going because I can go where a Ducato goes. You know, it's nice and narrow, but you know, you are restricted by the height. So that's something I have to always bear in mind. And that's why I use a Garmin Overlander, because it does tell me about low bridges and all that sort of wonderful stuff. Let's just take a look at the unit, the engine itself. It's a 180 horsepower, 3 litre, 16 valve Iveco turbo diesel engine. It's a Euro 4 engine, so it has no AdBlue whatsoever. It's been a very robust, a very reliable engine. I've been to temperatures of over 50 degrees, 10 below, which is not particularly cold, but it's proven to be exceptionally reliable. And it's not the most powerful unit in the world, but it has the gears. It's 24 speed. I can select a gear, I can cruise nicely on the motorway with the air conditioning running and cruise control on, and it's a treat to drive.
So what you're looking at here is a pre-filter system. It's a carbon filter, nothing special about it whatsoever. You can pick these up from a pool supplier. This is used to filter the water prior to use, whether it be drinking or washing. The water tank in the truck is around 250 litres, which is more than enough to keep me going for up to 2 weeks. So moving into the living area, this is the sofa, which drops down and converts into a bed. It's enough to take 2 children or 1 adult. The table drops out of the way and stores just behind. This then is the walkthrough. Popping the door open, you can walk straight through there into the cab. These are the steps that we use to climb up, grabbing the handrail to the right hand side, and then you can just throw yourself into bed. These are the electronic control units, the Victron and the heating. These fans are Sirocco fans. They are high volume for moving air. You know, in the hot weather, these are something that we rely on extensively, and what you're seeing me do now, I'm pushing a little button and setting a timer, so I can set it for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. It'll turn off during the middle of the night, so there's not too much noise. This is our air conditioning. It's a Webasto system, extremely robust. It's a 240 volt system. Kitchen area with a worktop. This is the stove on top is actually gas, not electric. This is a Ninja air fryer, extremely good, low power consumption and very fast for cooking your food. The shower area, it's a full-size shower, a really nice place to use, and the shower in it has 2 heads. You have a main head on the top, as you see, and a handheld unit. This is a compost toilet or a separator toilet. Very good again, you know, no chemicals. And then it has a built-in extractor unit, so you can keep the window closed. It's 12 volts, very low power consumption and extremely reliable. Not too noisy either, but it does move the air out and also any steam in the bathroom. Going back to the living area, as you can see, it's extremely light and it's a lovely place to sit and relax. So there you have it. Guys, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this van, truck,
expedition vehicle tour, whatever you want to call it. I hope you found it interesting. If you have any comments, please don't forget to leave them below. I will try and respond to every single one. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel to follow where the truck goes next. Until next time, keep exploring, stay safe, and I may see you on a trail. You never know.